My partner has tried messaging people, and people have like flat out been like, I don't wanna hook up with you. I also haven't gotten hit on in person here.
Gay men don't want to lick your vagina. Lesbians don't want to suck a dick. I said it on Jubilee a few months ago. I mean, can we just end the video there? Because this is the most ridiculous, woke, new age homophobia I've seen since I started posting videos on YouTube 13 years ago. Lately, there has been an absolute epidemic of queer, non-binary, and trans folk who are claiming that lesbians and gay men need to be attracted to them and want to sleep with them.
My partner and I are both on Grinder. We have not gotten hit on like at all. Usually we get hit on like fairly regularly. We're from Boston. Pretty much the minute I open that app, I have people messaging me. A lot of them are chasers, which like isn't great, but there is legitimate like interest, and it is not hard for me to make connections.
Do you notice how the person in this video didn't say who was messaging them? I mean, it could have not been gay men. It probably wasn't. It probably was bi or pan or just queer people. Like, you know, not a monosexual person. But of course, because everybody is in this new woke world, even though this person has a vagina, still has their tits, doesn't pass as a man, they're still going to call a gay man bigoted, transphobic, whatever they're gonna call them. Make it make sense.
Compare that to like an explicitly gay queer town where the grinder like should be hopping, and it is completely dead.
Also, what doesn't make sense to me is that I am a woman and a lesbian and understand these gay men more than you do, and you claim to be a man.
And this is where the transphobia really comes in, is that my partner, who passes for cis in a way that I don't, and is, you know, like a bear, is getting hit on a ton. Like, men are all over him in person. And so, like, the contrast between how hard he's being flirted with in person versus how dead Grinder is very much like, oh.
Let me explain this to you since you clearly do not get it. Your partner passes. Your partner, therefore, gets hit on by gay men in public. You don't. Therefore, you don't get hit on by gay men in public. Grinder is likely not gonna work out for you either. I've never been on Grinder, but I've seen people take screenshots and like call people out for They put, usually you guys put like if you are trans or not, or if you are bi or gay or have a 10-inch dick. And if you do not have said 10-inch dick, I'm guessing that's probably something you want to mention.
You think he's hot when you think he is this specific thing, but as soon as you realize that he doesn't have a penis, you don't actually want him.
Exactly. Wow. How sad is it that even though you say those words and those words are coming out of your own mouth, you still don't get it? This happens to all kinds of people. I have been somewhat physically attracted to people until they've taken their clothes off, and then I'm like, it's kind of, some of it's kind of gone, right? This is not a trans thing. This is an all people thing. But let me explain. So in these people's minds, they identify as a gay man, right? Therefore, gay men should want to f them. Now, my question is, what about the reverse? If somebody f them, does that mean that person that f them is gay?
Brought him back here, events transpired. Woke up the next day and he used the phrase like, oh, but you're just like the coolest girl ever. And I was like, oh, I didn't tell him. I didn't need to do it now, because it's just happened. And I was like, so, spoiler, I'm not one of those though. And he was like, what do you mean? And I was like, so I'm a guy. And he was like, not the last time I checked. And I was like, okay.
Okay, here's the gaslighting.
Okay, I'm a transgender man. And that is what that means. Like, I am a man. And he was just reducing it to biology the whole time of like, well, it's not gay because you don't have a... And I'm like, okay. That helps you sleep at night.
These people will be the first to call you a bigot if you misgender them, if you mispronoun them, if you go by science and you believe in science. But somehow they get to dictate your sexual orientation to you. Listen, I don't care how attractive, how hot a trans woman can be. And yes, physically, from the outside, with their clothes on, I can be like, yeah, that person is attractive. But guess what? Never gonna wanna have a dick in my vagina. Not sorry about it. Girl, all gay men are the same way. People that are actually homosexual, monosexual. Supernova tweeted to me, trans activist logic. What matters during sex? Pronouns, clothes, the other person's inner perception of themselves. That makes sense. To the woke. What does not matter during sex? Sex organs. That's literally what these people are saying.
Well, what would you like want to say to that person though, do you think?
You're gay, bro. like, maybe not entirely gay. Gay is an umbrella term.
No, it's not. Gay means homosexual males. You are not a male, and you are not a homosexual. You are a female who presents to the best of their ability as a male. So no to both. In saying all that, do I think that if this supposed guy that fucked this person is entirely straight? Personally, I would say no. I believe in the Kinsey scale, right? I don't think this person is entirely gay. I don't think they're straight. I think they're probably like, maybe a little bit over there, you know what I mean? If you like somebody that has primary and secondary female sex characteristics, and you're a female, you're a lesbian. If you're a man, you'd be straight. If you like a mix, I feel like you'd be more on the bi and pan, bi pan scale. And that's okay. There's nothing, literally, we have to stop erasing bisexual and pansexuality. It's a thing. I also found this video of this, let me get this right, queer disabled sex worker who identifies as a they, them, but has done nothing to their own body, is not on hormones. The only thing they did is like shave the side of their head, which is like a lesbian thing, if I'm being honest. I wonder if this person calls the men that sleep with them anything other than straight.
I'm Janeway. I'm a queer, gender fluid, disabled sex worker. I'm a punk that loves to fuck and loves to love. I've always just had a draw to the freedom of it. And I've always been such a sexual person. But there is a lot of pressure to identify as she in the context of sex work. They, them are my pronouns.
Somebody tweeted, she admits that college fucked her up. Somebody else said, legitimate question, if they identify as a they, them, does sex cost more than she, her? I mean, it is group sex. I found this post on Reddit, on the male to female section of Reddit, male to female, and it says, how to cope with genitalia preference rejection. Not a fan of that terminology, genitalia preference, because it's not a preference, it's sexual orientation. But this person did make a good point, which is why I want to say this. They said, got rejected because of that, and I hate myself profoundly. That's really sad. You shouldn't hate yourself for that. She said she would have said yes if I were a cis woman. My brain really wants to say that she's transphobic to feel better, but I know that's not good. Thank you for saying that. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help her. She can't help her sexual orientation. You can't help the fact that you're trans. Both things are okay. I don't know what to do. It's eating me away. It isn't my fault I'm like this. I was just born wrong, and in my situation, I don't think I'll ever be able to get something. I don't know what that says. I will never be enough of a woman. So I appreciate this person's honesty and I understand where they're coming from. But the point that I'm trying to make in bringing this up is you made the point for yourself. That's the same point that we make for ourselves. We can't help being this way. We can't help being attracted to female primary and secondary sex characteristics. Just like you can't help being attracted to female primary and secondary sex characteristics. And you also can't help the fact that you're transgender, like a legitimate transsexual with gender dysphoria. Both things are okay. What's not okay is giving somebody shit, like these previous people in the video, and calling people out as bigots for not wanting to fuck you. Simply because of the fact that you identify as the same sex, even though you're not.
How many genders are there?
2. I don't want to participate anymore.
Okay, let me explain this for the last time. Actually, it's probably not gonna be the last time. Someone's identity does not affect someone else's sexual orientation in the slightest. Identity is mental. Sexual orientation is based on physical. According to those people, isn't like identity something that can change, right? Some of these people's pronouns change by the day. They say that they're gender fluid. I have a question for them. If that person is gender fluid and I'm attracted to them throughout their gender fluidity, does that mean my sexual orientation is changing by the day? No, of course not. On X the other day, I posted a video calling out this bullshit book that I unfortunately purchased just to review it to see if it was as bad as people said it was, and it is. The book is called Girl Sex, and I kid you not, it has more dicks in it than it should, and the number of dicks it should have in it is 0, of course, if it's called Girl Sex. But literally, on the first, I kid you not, on the first page, number 1 says, not all girls have vulvas.
You activists must understand why radical feminists are getting angrier, why women in general are getting angrier, why lesbians are angrier, because you guys are pushing this shit. Literally, it's in books. I don't understand the obsession with trying to sleep with lesbians who are interested in biological females. Like, they don't want dick.
Thank you so much to this cutie of a trans guy for finally, speaking some sense. I mean, there's a few of you guys out there, not as many as I would like, but the people that are out there speaking the truth, I will continue to promote and raise your voices.
But I feel like a lot of lesbianism being tied around what parts you have down there is weird. I see many jokes from specifically cis lesbians who say being a lesbian is about not wanting you know what.
Listen, it definitely is a big part of it. I am not gonna lie. But I've always preferred to say that it is about what we do want, not what we don't want. I mean, it's partially about not being attracted to men, but it's more about being attracted to women, because if I was not attracted to men, that doesn't mean that I'm attracted to women. It could mean that I'm not attracted to women either, right? So sexual orientation is defined on what we are attracted to, not what we're not attracted to. As a lesbian, we do want someone that has primary and secondary sex characteristics that are female. But I already know what you're gonna tell us that we're wrong about, right?
But like they'll make that the entire personality around lesbianism.
This person just told on themselves. Just because trans is a personality trait for you doesn't mean that lesbianism is for us. No. It's just my sexual orientation. Thank you very much. And I guess I got lucky that I grew up in a time where having balls was a personality trait, not actually having balls. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, as per usual, as always. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so right now. Click the subscribe button down below. And I will see you guys back here on Sunday with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Love yourselves. Keep calling out the bullshit. Bye.